So on Tuesday night, the Golden State Warriors picked up a 124-106 victory over the New Orleans Pelicans, and they did it without two starters in Stephen Curry and Andrew Wiggins. They were also without DeAnthony Melton, one of their top role players. I mean, this Warriors team is just light years ahead of last year's. There's so much more depth to be able to come back down 31-14 entering the second quarter, and to do it with how they did, with just tenacity on the defensive end, hitting three balls, pushing in transition. Buddy Hield, he wasn't that good in the first half, if we're being honest. And then he ended the third on fire, and he continued it in the fourth quarter, putting up 19 points. I mean, Hield couldn't miss. He literally had as much confidence, I think, as I've ever seen in an NBA shooter. This guy was just dialed in, locked in. You could see Steph was fired up on the bench. Hield finished the game overall with a combined 28 points. He did on 7 of 11 from 3 and 9 of 18 from the floor in 29 minutes. Hield, you look at D'Anthony Melton, Kyle Anderson, all of these guys are huge pickups for the Warriors. They were without one of them, of course, in Melton. But the other one in slow-mo, 20 minutes, was a +9, 4 assists, 5 steals. Like I said, getting it done on the defensive side of the ball. If you're down big after a quarter, you're going to have to start to play some defense. You're going to have to start to get stops, and then you're going to have to score. And that's what the Warriors did. They held the Pelicans to 20 points in the second quarter. They scored 13, and then they had a massive third quarter. I mean, the Warriors, we know how good they are in the third, 40-28, and then they won the fourth, 37-27. I love what I saw at the starting lineup. Jonathan Kuminga was ended up being moved to the bench. They decided to go with Draymond. They went with Jackson Davis, Buddy, Moses Moody, and Brandon Buzemski, and it played very well. The only starter that was a minus was Moody, and it's funny because Moody actually was extremely efficient. He had 17 points on 5 of 6 from 3, 6 of 8 from the field. Buzemski decided to go with him on the thumbnail just because of his impact. 19 points. He was aggressive. He had been struggling with a shot this season. He was like, 1 of 15 coming into this game from 3. He knocks down 3 of 8, which is great. 5 assists, a steal, 2 blocks, diving after loose balls. He was just active the entire game. He was big time. Obviously, the Warriors don't win this without him. And then you've got Jackson Davis, who plays 17 minutes, 3 points, 5 assists, 2 boards with a block. Davis didn't get that much run, but when he did, he stepped up big time. Kevon Looney ended up actually getting more minutes than him because I guess he just had the hot hand. 4 points, 9 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals with a block. Davis is a young player. He's only in his second season. Kuminga is a veteran. He's won championships. The Warriors like him a lot. So it's going to be very interchangeable for those two, just depending on the matchup. And then Draymond was great. 7 assists, 2 blocks, a steal. He played good defense on Zion. Some of the shots that Williamson hit were just outrageous, man. I mean, just ridiculous. 12 of 19 for 31 points. 8 boards, 3 assists. I mean, yeah, that Zion was dominant in this game, but it was just hitting tough shots. I thought Draymond defended them well, and of course, former Defensive Player of the Year, but he is just 6'6", so we've got to keep that in mind. Zion's got a massive vertical. Zion's also 6'6", but the way he jumps, Zion just looks bigger than he is, if I'm being honest with you guys. Pause, right? But looking at the bench, Waters, just mentioning him now about 3.5 in the video, he was definitely the most interesting player in this game because, of course, he's not a regular part of the rotation, but 31 minutes, 21 points, plus 26, which is a game high, 8 of 13 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3. I mean, we're talking about 8 boards, 4 assists, and a steal. I mean, Waters was amazing. He comes in, he just instantly is just shooting the 3 ball, attacking the basket, and playing good defense. One of the more underrated players in basketball, if we're being honest. I mean, he's 27 years old, of course, was undrafted out of Oklahoma State, but he can shoot the lights out of the basketball. He's right up there with Steph and Buddy Hield, if we're being honest. I mean, those are the 2 best shooters in the game, but, Waters, when he's given time, he will score, he will impact. The Warriors just have way too much depth on this team for everyone to get in. Kerr had to make some decisions, but he did get in this game, and he stepped up big, and he showed that he deserves more minutes. And because Steph and Melton will miss tonight's game on Wednesday, Waters will get more run. And in terms of Brandon Buzemski, he will be available once again with a face mask. Andrew Wiggins is questionable. By the time you're watching this, it will be announced if Wiggins is playing or not. I mean, this report just came out literally as I'm recording this. Jonathan Kuminga, he was aggressive. 28 minutes, 17 points, 6 of 13 from the field, 3 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block. Kuminga, you could tell, even though he was moved to the bench, he didn't take it personally. He just went out there and tried to help his team win. The Warriors did not give Kuminga that rookie scale extension. They did give it to Moody. I know a lot of Warriors fans believe that Moody is the better player, But regardless, it really doesn't matter at all who the better player is. Both of these guys are young with a lot of potential. I mean, Kaminga has all-star potential, if we're being honest. He has the potential to reach that level of play, and he showed in this game why. Just attacking the basket, he's very difficult to stop, and he took 3 3-pointers. The one that he made was wide open, but he took it with confidence and knocked it down. Made all 4 of his free throws as well, which is good. Gary Payton played 8 minutes, and he was a -3, but I thought he came in and kind of just gave a spark. And just with his defense, of course, he came in right away and he ends up forcing a jump ball, just pushing it in transition. 3 of 5 from the field as well. Of course, he was on that championship 2022 team, so I always like Gary Payton. Very good role player. But the Warriors, they shot 45.7% from three, 47% from the floor. From the free throw line, 84.6. In terms of assists, they had 34. The Pelicans had 23. Boards, we did get out rebounded, which is crazy. Normally, when you get out rebounded, you don't win the game, but that wasn't the case. The Pelicans had 4 more boards, blocked 9 shots, which is great. Had forced 15 steals. Pelicans only forced 4, and then of course turnovers, just 7 for the Warriors, 23 for the Pels. Usually, when you get beat this badly, it's because you're turning the ball over and you're really not that efficient. The Pelicans were efficient though. They were 41% from three, 54% from the field, 70.8% from the free throw line isn't very good, but they did knock down 17 free throws. The Warriors only got to the line 13 times. The Pels got to the line 24 times. So there was a free throw disparity there. But I mean, the Dubs, they won this game by just hustling, getting easy baskets off of transition, Buddy Hield and Waters going crazy. I mean, we're talking about 2 guys that were just shooting the lights out of the basketball. The Warriors also did a good job, of course, of just attacking the basket and being a balanced team. Steve Kerr coached a good game to win against the Pelicans, who've got a really good team. They're expected to make the playoffs, to make some noise in the West, a loaded West, albeit, but still. To be able to do that without 2 starters, one of your best role players, just speaks about how far this team again has come since last season. The reason why the Warriors lost in the play-in tournament to the Sacramento Kings was because they lacked depth. And this time around, they went out there and they brought in free agents, but they've also developed some of the younger players, like Moses Moody in this game scored 17. Jonathan Kuminga scored 17. Waters, the third, scores 21 points. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful. Podziemski, 19, of course, in his second season, just like Jackson Davis. I mean, these guys just need to continue to shoot the basketball. Everyone's playing their role. They're unselfish. Like Draymond is facilitating, he's defending, he's anchoring the defense. Buddy is just shooting the lights out of the ball. Jackson Davis, of course, just dunking, catching lobs, rolling to the basket, setting screens. Moody letting it fly. And then Podziemski is just a Swiss Army knife. That's what I like to call him. I mean, it's kind of like a cliche thing to call a player, but that's just what he does. He gives you a little bit of everything. Like, there's nothing Podziemski really can't do. He draws charges, he steals the ball, dives and loose balls, blocks shots. He was aggressive in this one as well, looking for a shot. I mean, he knew that he was struggling from three coming into this one. He ended up knocking his first 3 down, of course. It was off of an inbound, and then he just hit a couple more the rest of the game. So I need to see him continue to look for a shot because, I mean, why not? He's a good player.